Alright guys, so today is going to be day 2 of our mobility project. Yesterday, day 1, we did the lower leg. Today we're going to do the upper leg, so everything from the knee to the hips. Tomorrow we're going to be working a bit on the hips. There's going to be some overlap there between the hips and upper leg, and obviously your back too as well, going from hips into the back. But today we're going to start off with the foam roller, and I'm going to be using a rumble roller. I don't know if we talked about this yesterday, but the rumble roller just has knobs on them. It's going to be a little more intense. It's going to get into those muscles and pull apart those muscles a little bit better than the foam roller will, but either will work just fine for this. So the first one that we're going to do is going to be your IT band. Your IT band starts off at your hip and goes down to your knee on the side of your leg here. And 9 times out of 10, any knee problems that people are experiencing are going to just be tightness to that IT band. So the way that we're going to do this is we're going to lay down on our side here. We're going to put that foam roller or rumble roller right on your hip bone there, and we're just slowly going to make our way down from our hip here. Start off at the TFL. Your TFL is a muscle. If you look at your meaty flesh right below what we consider to be your hip bone here, it's that meaty flesh right underneath there. It's this spherical muscle that sits there. It's a hip flexor. So if you sit down for a living, more than likely it's going to be very, very tight. And we're going to start off there just looking for any tender spots there. Then we're going to work our way on down to that mid-thigh. And we're going to follow that all the way down to your knee. And once again, we're looking for any tender spots. If you find a tender spot, we're going to hold on that tender spot for generally 30 seconds. Okay? And you're going to work your way all the way down to that knee. We're going to make our way all the way down to your knee here. Okay? The next one we're going to do is going to be, we're going to do a little bit of your hamstring here, and then we're going to do a little bit of hamstring on the box too as well. So we're going to start off here right where your butt meets your hamstring, and we're going to look for any tender spots on in there. If it's tender, we're just going to hang out there. You can roll back and forth. You can hang on top of it. Go to the outside as well as the inside of each muscle. Make sure that we're not just going down that two-dimensional plane, down that muscle. We want to make sure that we're exploring the inside as well as the outside of that muscle. Okay? Just looking for any spots that might be tender, and think that you're just trying to pull apart those muscle fibers and separate them from the surrounding muscle fibers. Okay? As we go down, we're going to make our way all the way down to the bottom of your knee, or the back of your knee, excuse me, and just once again looking for any tender spots in there. Very commonly, you'll find that tender spot right where that hamstring connects into your adductors, right where they combine together there. Okay? So look for any tender spots on in there. And once we've got them all, we want to go through it and we're going to work on the adductors next. So we're going to have a 90-degree bend to our hip, a 90-degree bend to our knees. We're going to lay down flat on the ground. The foam roller is going to sit perpendicular to your body this way. That knee is going to be up at hip height here, and we are going to look for any tender spots, especially up high here in that groin. Looking up to just try to, peel apart all those muscle fibers in there. And slowly start to make our way to mid-thigh again, or mid-adductor. And we're going to make our way down on the inside of that knee, but we're also going to get that VMO. Your VMO is that teardrop-shaped muscle that's right above the inside portion of your knee here. And so we're going to hit that while we're here too as well, because that works best from this angle. And how we're going to do that is we're going to just bring that ankle up here and hit that up top third of that quadricep muscle, and just peeling apart anything that's in there. Try to get nice and loose. Okay? The next one we're going to do here while we're on the ground is we're going to now put the foam roller perpendicular to our body. We're going to hit that quadricep on all of these muscles. I would highly suggest doing them one at a time, just because of the fact that they're such big, strong, powerful muscles that if you try to do both of them at the same time, you're not going to quite get deep enough. So we're going to do one side and then the other. I'll see some people doing both quads, both hamstrings together. I would much prefer people to do one at a time. Okay? So we're going to start off right at the crease of your hip here. And just looking for any tender spots on in there. We're going to go down that thigh, down that quadricep muscle, and you want to look for anything on the front side on the outside and anything on the inside. Make sure, once again, big point, do not just find a two-dimensional plane and roll down that two-dimensional plane. We want to make sure that we're getting the inside, the outside, and everything along the way, okay? All right. And then we're going to work our way all the way down to that knee as well there. For time restraint reasons, that's why we're going to stop. The next one I'm going to show you guys, take the box here, and what I'm going to have you do is you're going to sit down in the box. Anything that's a hard surface works here where you can get your feet up off the ground. I'm just using a plyo box here. I'm going to place the lacrosse ball. This is actually a yoga two-minute ball, but same basic concept. This one's just a little bit softer. I'm going to place it right where my hamstring ties into my butt. And I'm just going to push down there looking for any tender spots there. I could do a little bit of what's called tack and floss, where I'm contracting and relaxing that muscle fiber once I find a knot. And basically what's happening is if that ball's here and the knot's here, I'm just rolling that knot back and forth over the top of that ball, looking to wear out that knot as much as I can, to tear down that knot as much as I can. I can also go across the muscle fibers here, where I am taking that knot and I'm popping back over the top of it each time, and I'm creating that wave of pressure that will break down that knot, okay? Spend a little bit of time up here on top of the box, looking for any tender spots in that hamstring. For those of you guys who once again sit down for a living, that increasing the flexibility of your hamstrings along with your hip flexors, which we'll go over a little bit more in depth tomorrow, is extremely, extremely important, okay? For our static stretching, we're going to start off with the hamstring since we're here. And what I'm going to have you guys do is find a spot in your house that's approximately hip height here. And all I'm going to have you do is leg up on top of the box, try to point your toes back towards you as far as you can. You have a whole line of fascia, it was a fascial line that goes from your hips all the way down to the bottom of your heel and up through your toes here. If we go here, it's in a slack position. We want to lengthen that out as much as, or shorten them up as much as possible, lengthen it up as much as possible by pulling those toes backwards. We're going to start off going same side forward and just try to lean yourself down toward those toes here, okay? You'll notice that as I twist my body this way or this way, it's going to hit different parts of my hamstring. We want to make sure that we're stretching out the entire hamstring, and once again, not just stretching out the exact same muscle fibers right down in the middle of that hamstring. So you're going to explore a little bit to the outside, explore a little bit to the inside, find those spots that are tender, okay? The next one we're going to do is going to be adductor stretch, specifically a gracilis stretch. Once again, platform hip height. You're going to come here, flexing that foot once again here. So that toe's pointing back toward me as far as I can. My leg is locked out. I'm going to put my hand on my hip. I'm going to apply pressure on my hip toward that opposite foot here, okay? Pushing downward. And we want to feel a stretch all through here. Both of the hamstrings and the adductors can apply pressure to your lower back. So a lot of times, excessive tightness in these muscles can show up in tight lower back, even tension through the knees too as well. Any muscle that crosses a joint has the ability to create tension of that joint. And so because of the fact it does cross that knee joint, it can create tension within that knee joint too as well. Next one we're going to do, you can either put that foot up on top of the box this way and stretch out that quadricep here, or you can just do the standard, hold on to something and grab that foot here. It does help if you squeeze that glute to push that hip forward while pulling that knee backwards. Obviously, the angle of your torso will make a big difference, so try to keep your torso upright as you can while doing this here. And just think you're trying to peel apart that whole quadricep muscle, okay? All right, guys, that's your mobility for upper leg. All right, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.